Oh my god, there's 20,000 people watching. Hit the like button. Oh, it rocks. Oh my god, it rocks. Oh my god, the like button. It's my favorite thing. Oh, like button. Oh, it keeps going. The like button song keeps going. What a dumb song. Why would they write the lyrics about hitting the like button? Why would they do that? Oh! Oh my god, like button! Whoa! It's so stupid. It's the dumbest thing I've ever done on the internet. It's the dumbest thing. Hello, fellow like button appreciators. You guys loving the like button, right? Oh my god, you guys love like buttons? What about dislike buttons? YouTube took away our dislike buttons. All we have left now is the rage-filled smacking of the like button. That's it. That's all we got left. That's all we got left in our lives. Oh, that's all we got. We can't ratio anymore. Oh god, what am I doing? Why am I all up? I'm up at the top. Why am I up at the top, guys? Oh, I must be zoomed in. Hold on, let me zoom out. Oh, that's in. Oh, that's, oh, wait. Oh, that's in. Oh, no, that's out. Okay, there we go. I zoomed out. Oh, now the stupid Home Depot box is in the shot again. What's all this crap? What is all this crap? What's back here? Oh, that's a camera. Don't look at my camera back there. Don't look at my camera back there. Look at my Home Depot box. Should I just keep my hand here the whole show? No free spots, Home Depot. Get out of here. We used the Home Depot. We had to supplement with some Home Depot moving boxes. The boxes, the cardboard. Cardboard? You get cardboard? You guys know what I'm talking about. We had to supplement with some of those, so we ended up with a few. And they keep ending up in the background of my live stream here because I don't have an office officially yet. I don't officially have an office yet. What is this thing? Oh, look at this little guy. He's like showing up behind the scenes. I'm going to move it. Look at me moving it. Watch me move it during the show. I'm going to put it over here behind the chat. It's a widget, folks. Do you guys know what a widget is? Does it matter? Probably not. Anyhow, what is up, dudes? What is going on? My dudes and my bros. Where's all my dudes and my bros? There's only 22,000 dudes and bros here today. Sorry, we don't have a lot. We don't have lots of dudes and bros here that show up for the live stream anymore. They show up after, and they watch it after, and then they don't comment. They don't even leave any comments. The Review Team 6 shows up. They don't even leave a comment. Leave a comment if you're here later on the video. You know what I mean? Like, how hard is... I'm talking to you. You out there watching this later... leave a freaking comment so at least I know who you are, and I could be like, Stevie McSteverson, what's up, bros? And Laser Pants 294949. You know, I'd be like, sup, G? What are you doing? You got laser pants, bro? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Coffee. Coffee's keeping me alive. Okay, so this weekend... We made some progress, guys. We made some progress on Alyssa Bentley's fish room. This weekend we've made some progress. We chopped some wood. We inserted some screws. We fired nails. We drilled concrete. We inserted screws into the holes in which you get what I'm saying. You know, we did construction. And it was 98 degrees outside, bros. It was hot. There's a freaking heater out here, like nobody's business. Today it's perfect outside, realistically. I mean, it might be a little moist for people. Sorry. Like pit moist, you know what I mean? Like your undercarriage, the area under here, might be a little moist for some chiefs. Some sporty chiefs out there that are just running about doing like... oh, it's leg day. Look at me go. You know, and then they're like, oh, God, I'm too moist, right? That could be happening because it's 83 and moistly sunny. That's what it says right down here on my taskbar. It says moistly sunny right at the bottom. I may have inserted an I in there to make it moistly sunny, but you get what I'm talking about. You know what I mean when I say moistly sunny with a T. Whoops, I hit T instead. Oh, my gosh. I don't know if I'll be able to live down this shame. There we go. God. We've recovered. We've recovered. There we go. Recovered. See? Look. Words. Everybody knows words. We all know words, right? We're all smart around here. We know a bunch of words. Shout out to anybody on the Discord. Green Room is open. If you want to call in, you can. I will probably forget to announce it again. So if you're going for it, go hot, you know, go big time. But I'll probably forget because I'll probably start talking about stuff here in a minute because I'm warming up to the idea of talking to the internet. You know, sometimes I'm like, hey, bros, I'm tired and I don't know if I want to talk to the internet, and I gotta get warmed up, and I gotta think like, boy, what do we do on Monday when we're talking on the internet? You know what I mean? Like, what are we going to do while we're here? I'm always here by myself. I used to be able to have Alyssa be on the show on Fridays. We can't do that anymore because I work now. I got to go to work. And I already talked about it earlier, but that's the stuff that I got to do at work. Is that similar things like laser pants, concrete weirdness, all that stuff. You guys, you understand. You guys understand. You've been to work before, right? I assume, you know? I assume you've been to work. It could be something I invented in my mind, though. Maybe you guys are all unemployed and have never had a job, which would be weird because I've heard you people talk about your jobs before. So I don't know if we'll be able to even understand what that's all about. Oh, my God. We have our first caller of the day. We have our first caller. Caller numero uno. They're muted. Caller numero uno is muted. We'll find out if they start talking at some point. Pool of goo at 108 on Friday. Yeah, east of the mountains out there. It was super hot. I have no idea how anybody was making it through. I got a report from my sister who said it was 114. My mom sent me a text on I don't know, a day. There was a day that I got a text that said it was 111 outside, and I was like, dude, I just don't even know. I don't even know what to tell you about that when it's that hot. Alyssa's in the chat, but she's not making any noises. She's not making any sounds, so she might be beat to, Did I mute everybody? Oh, there we go. Now I'm not muted anymore. I'm not muted in the green room. Hey, Alyssa, what are you doing?
I'm sitting here.
Hey.
It's like, so we can't be on the show anymore, but yet here I am on the show.
That's true. You could be here. Rebecca was here and then she left. I don't know where she went.
Aw.
She joined and then left. I don't know. There was going to be a threesome here, a three-way party.
Be great.
Do you guys?
It was gonna be great.
Do you remember Party Line? Do you remember that? Are you old enough to remember that?
Like, I know what it is, and I remember having it described to me, but I wasn't. It was something that happened rurally.
Rurally? With the rural juror?
Yeah, but like, I grew up in like a suburb of a big city, so we just had our own phone line.
Oh, okay. So, to just describe that really quickly for all the listeners out there, maybe not you, because I bet you know what it is as soon as I say it.
Mm.
But back in the Dizzy, right?
Test.
Hey, there we go. Oh my God, we have a three. We have Party Line. Okay, Party Line.
I grew up in like a suburb of a big city, so we just had our own phone line.
Oh, we're looping now.
Oh, okay. So,
we're
just
looping.
describe that really quickly for all the listeners out there. Maybe not you, because I bet you know what it is as soon as I say it.
You.
Yeah.
But
you got to turn off your playback.
Yeah, your playback's going wild. I muted you until your playback gets fixed. Okay, so Party Line, back in the day, was basically companies bought themselves the right to provide services to homes, right? They basically leveraged their way into being the only people that could do the phone lines installs. And so what they used to do is they would run a phone line out to where there's like a cluster of houses, and then they would just do a branch circuit off of one to all of the houses. So you would basically have the same phone line as all of your neighbors. So if your neighbors were physically on the phone, and I'm doing the boomer on the phone thing right now, which kids,
with your fingers.
Yeah, with my fingers like this. Yeah, like a banana, like I'm holding a banana, because that's how you used to have to hold a phone. Back in the day, us old timers used to hold a phone like this, like a banana, and so if you picked up the phone, like your neighbor, Balky Bartakamos, he could be on the phone talking to somebody. And you're like, oh, well, hey, I got to make a call at some point. And then you just put the phone back down. Or you just join their phone call and be like, what are you guys talking about? What are you doing? What's going on over there? It's very weird.
Yeah, but then in that way, the party line was also how you would know, the neighbor's new calf was born or something like that.
Oh, the new cat? Yeah, you were like, oh, you just pick up the phone and find out what other people are doing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like all secret style.
That's what my parents told me.
Oh, so people were just pervy listening into other people's phone calls?
Well, I mean, it was more like my mom, she grew up on a farm, and so it would be like you could either walk a mile down the road to go and talk to your neighbors, or your neighbors could all tell you what was happening. Everybody would just kind of have the party line going up, so it would just be like being in a chat room, but like a phone. I don't know, it's hard to describe. That's just what I was told. Like that's how rumors traveled faster than the speed of light.
Oh. Well. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Well, I think back in the day, I think a lot of people just hung around and had nothing to do.
Right.
Shout out to all the old people who were just lazy AF. Like, they were just hanging around. They were just hanging around Jack John with each other all the time. You know, they had nothing to do. They'd spend all Sunday getting no work done. Do you remember that?
Well, I mean, the other thing was my grandma. Now I'm just telling you stories about my grandma, but she after the party line thing was no longer a thing, she would just have a police scanner in her kitchen, and she would just listen to the police scanner all day, and that's how she would know what was going on in town.
What was happening? She'd just listen to a police scanner and be like, "Oh, that's what's happening."
Yep, and she did that because she used to work like as a police officer or something for the police in her rural town, and
rural.
And so she had access to a police scanner, and she just listened to it all day. She just didn't give it back, and and that's just how she got the news. I mean, it's just exactly like having the internet and Facebook and whatever. You just have it as the police scanner all day instead.
Oh, that is yeah. I recall like my dad having a police scanner, but my dad also had like a ham radio and stuff. You know what I mean? Like the long distance radio with the big antenna up a tree, up the side of a tree. You know, and then he's like, check out this.
Did he have
listening
a call
to
sign?
He's like, check this out. At night, he'd be like, he did have a call sign. I don't remember what it was, though, because I don't care.
Okay.
But he would be like, check this out. I'm listening to music from China or something, you know, in the middle of the night when it was nighttime. And then he'd be like, he'd be all like trying to hot dog me by explaining that, like, oh, the frequencies, they bounce off the atmosphere at night, and then they da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, yeah, I get it, big guy. Good. You're listening to stupid music that you don't even understand. Rad. This is a good hobby. That's basically what I used to tell him. This is good.
Hey man, every dad has a weird hobby. My dad built model planes. So
that sounds way more fun. That sounds way more fun than
he did get to fly those planes too, so that was
my
dad
used to always explain to me. Well, my dad built actual airplanes, so I'm sure he probably didn't want to do that when he was at home.
That makes sense.
But you know, he used to explain to me like just how important it was that you didn't say anything bad on the ham radio, because like the cops would show up or something if you said poop farts and whatever, you know. Like if you were just screaming poop farts into the ham radio, like the cops were gonna show up or something. All right, we've unmuted Rebecca. We're gonna see if what's going on over there, Rebecca? What are you doing? She better come on and say poop farts. That would be brilliant. That would crack me up.
Yeah, I would laugh too.
Then we could send the cops over. In my dad's mind.
Yes.
Sharts.
Well, they would just show up.
Yeah, poop farts.
Sharts. No poop farts. Only
oh my
sharts.
gosh, sharts. Oh my god. We don't shart around here. We don't shart around here. We responsibly don't trust farts. That's how we roll. We never trust a fart. We just don't do that. It's not good policy to be trusting farts as the years go by, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. The more years go by, the less trustworthy farting is, I think.
Or sneezing, but maybe that's just a chick thing.
That's a lady thing. I've learned that in my grizzled old age with my gray ass beard now. I've learned that that's a lady thing. Yeah. Or a cough even. Or even a cough, right?
Or bending over. Yes. Things are all...
Yeah. It's true. The list keeps just getting longer and longer. It's very, yeah. Although I blew out my ankle yesterday, so I am getting super old, just so you guys know.
Oh, please. You're still a baby.
Well, I was holding Olivia, and I was climbing over all of these fallen trees.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Vicky was, I don't know what she was saying to me, and then like Olivia started freaking out, and we fell off the logs, and then I landed, And I was like, I was catching Olivia basically from her landing underneath me onto a log or whatever, and like my ankle just like went sideways or whatever, and then Vicky was like yelling at me about like, oh my god, that must have hurt your ankle so bad. And I'm like, I just got to carry my daughter out of here. I do not care if my foot falls off. We're not talking about that right now. I gotta go over these rocks and I'll talk to you about it later.
Being dad.
It's just like no, we don't have time right now. We have to go over there. Super funny.
That is funny.
I was having flashbacks of my youth, where Dad would freak out and just be like, no, we're not doing that right now. So now I got my cop shades. I got my cop shades on, just in case anybody's like, he sounded like an old dad. Well, I got old cop dad glasses now, so that people will be like, oh, it's confirmed, right?
The aviators.
The aviators, yeah.
One too many episodes of Chips.
I've been watching too much Top Gun, guys.
I was close.
Yeah. I have seen all of the Chips, though. Have you seen the new one? It's very crass.
No, I've been happy to miss that.
I would say it's not very good. I would not give it a thumbs up. I watched it just for like the nostalgia thing of like, oh wow, they made a comedy of Chips or whatever, and I was like, this is comedy. It's one of those things where you're like, this is not good. This is not a good movie. But Top Gun 2 Electric Boogaloo, that was pretty good, I will admit. But although there was no breakdancing in it, so I'm a little upset. I'm pretty much upset at any movie that doesn't have breakdancing in it. I think that's my new metric.
It would certainly have added a new spin to many of the Mel Gibson flicks.
Literally a new spin. Because they'd have been spinning around on cardboard. So today's topic, guys, a huge pat on the back to Michael Sarr, who has 22 years sober today, which is awesome to hear. You guys know him as Pugman. 22 years sober, which is an amazing milestone. You got to admit, there are some people out there that haven't even been alive for 22 years, let alone recovered, right? Just hanging out in recovery for 22 years.
Those people are weird. Those under 22 people. But go ahead.
The Zoomers?
Yes.
Yeah, those Zoomers are weird people. I got to admit, I think I have one that lives in my house, although she hasn't really she hasn't started flexing her independence yet, just yet. When she does, it's in very minimal ways,
When it happens in the middle of a Walmart aisle at 2 p.m., that's when you'll know. Anyway, congrats, Michael.
Which is why I stay at a Walmart,
Fair enough.
That's a trick. That is a dad trick right there for you. Dad trick, you just stay at a Walmart, and then you won't be showing up on any websites out there, about the people of Walmart. Which is admittedly one of the greatest internet rabbit holes we've ever gone down. And I think in the entirety of the internet is the people of Walmart rabbit hole is it's wondrous. I mean, it's a menagerie of wonder and amazement. I mean, it really is. It's just a cornucopia, of humanity.
I like the Flash Karens of Walmart aspect of things.
Oh, that is strong. I like how I think about 6 months ago, somebody was trying to explain to me how calling people a Karen is like a racial slur.
No.
And I was like, what? How is that like a racial slur? It's like you're making fun of ladies who are and it's just like, who are what? What exactly are the ladies doing in which they're than being referred to as a Karen. And it's like, well, they're probably just having a bad day or something, and it's like, well, not really people having a bad day. Not really that. It's more people that are enforcing a bad day on someone else. It's what sort of creates the Karen vibe, really,
Yeah, I could get it if you just caught them the once, but the ones that show up and like double down and then are repeatedly on video, those are the...
That's the real strong candidates for Karen of the year.
To do it in such a way where you're doing it at Walmart, like, what is your lowest common denominator there?
It's unknown. We will never know. I think
I feel like we're taking away from Mike. Congratulations!
I think that like 100 years from now, like Walmart will be utilized as an example of like how humanity went awry from the corporate structure down, like from the very top, the Waltons, all the way down to the Karens freaking out on aisle 43. I think it'll be a perfect example. This will be like Exhibit A taught in. Well, I don't know if the world's going to exist in 100 years, but let's say it does, and it looks something like the way it does now, and they'll be like Econ 101 or whatever. Like, here's why you can't allow psychotic billionaires to like run this important supply chain to half of the United States.
That's funny. Documentary on how Walmart leads directly to Trump.
Oh. Yeah, I wonder which really came first, because Fred Trump was probably before the Walton family. When was Walmart founded? 1962. So it's right around the same time. The origin. But it's from Arkansas, so I don't really trust many things that come from Arkansas.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, I never shop at Walmart. I never do. As a rule. It'd be like, it's the only store around, guy. You can only go to Walmart. And I'm like, I'll choose to craft my own goods then. But Walmart doesn't really have anything to do with what we're talking about today. But I did hit 3,000 days sober myself. As you guys saw on Discord, Rumbust was tracking it probably a little more accurately than I was. I mean, he was hot. He was hot to the shout out for 3,000 days. We got a $5 super chat from the Fish Tank Barn, says congrats on 3,000 days sober. And admittedly, when I started, when I got sober, the first time I never thought I would be at this point. That didn't even seem like a real thing. It didn't seem like that would exist. That could be a thing that existed, but here we are. And just a shout out to anybody who's, we only got like 20 people watching today, so that's not a lot, but maybe somebody's watching this later and they're having issues with drugs and alcohol and they don't know if maybe they're an addict or an alcoholic or anything like that. There's some really basic tools that you could look up online as to how, like, basically doctors categorize whether or not you might be an alcoholic or not, or a drug addict or whatever. And the easy way to kind of paraphrase that, but there's basically just like 5 questions. You can just read them yourself. You don't even have to go anywhere. And it basically gives you a breakdown. The way I look at it this way, in a real paraphrase, even shorter than like the 5-question questionnaire, is like, is your behavior negatively affecting other people, right? That's basically the easy way that I have found for most people to go like, yeah, it is. Or, you know what? No, not really, and it's a pretty much an easy way to go about it. So if you are confused or whatever, there is help out there. It's free. It's simple. It's not as difficult as you think. It's going to be, the rewards are going to be way bigger than you could ever imagine. So, just go out there and get started, and figure it out. Or actually, you don't need to figure it out. Go to some meetings. There will be one in your area. Go to a bunch of meetings and talk to some people who got sober. Don't talk to me about it. Just go to a meeting, right? Because I do get emails about it still to this day. And people are like, what do you think I should do? And I'm like, go to a meeting. And they're like, what? They're like, go to a meeting. Somebody will be there. And they will be like, hey, do this thing. Do that thing. just chill out, blah, 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 whatever. They'll give you solid advice. So, and it's free. I can't emphasize any more that it's free. One of the most recent things I got was somebody was a little bit upset about the air quote religious connotations. Yeah. Of Alcoholics Anonymous. Because they say God in it, but if you go read the very simple Alcoholics Anonymous book, I mean, some people might be freaked out that it's 150 pages. That seems like a tiny manual as far as I'm concerned. But it's very easy to read. It's very easy to comprehend, but it explains in there that they refer to God, but it's not religious at all. There's zero religion in it at all. It's not. They meet in church basements because church basements don't charge for people to have meetings. So it's as simple as that. But yeah, go to a meeting and do that thing. Now, moving on to the other topic, because the other topic was brought up by one of our callers. Oh my God. Is YouTube still fun? And we'll just maintain a level of anonymity about who inspired that question, but it's been brought up that there are a lot of people that are becoming discouraged with doing YouTube. And admittedly, it's from the top down, right? It's from the top all the way down to the bottom. People have quit. People go away. People don't know what to make videos about anymore, and this and that and the other thing. And I've talked about this on the live stream a few times, so I'm not afraid to talk about it again. But I will say I've noticed over the years, I've been on YouTube for 14 years or some crap like that now. It's ridiculous. But I've noticed over the years, the people that burn out and go away were the people that were always focused on this never-ending growth and also grabbing onto the algorithm for that growth, right? You've seen a million top 10 videos. You've seen a million My Fish Died videos. You've seen a million, oh my God, look at this videos over and over and over again, and they are all basically the same video. Now, most of those people that get into that process of making the same thing over and over again, guess what? They burn out because in my mind, they got into doing media type stuff. Like you're making videos, you're making content, you're making movies or something like that, or whatever you want to call them, documentaries or instructional videos or whatever. They basically got into it in sort of the least organic way possible. A lot of those folks saw a way to grab on and make money from people. Like Gary Vaynerchuk comes to mind. That guy is 100% focused all of the time on grifting on people. And eventually that guy is probably just going to stop. He's probably just going to go away, and he's just going to be a dude that's like, oh yeah, there's a blip in history or whatever of this guy having made 9 million videos about, selling membership to his thing or being inspirational so that he could sell, 5,000 tickets at $300 a pop to go see him in New York, right? And eventually he's probably just going to drop off. And I use him as a sort of global phenomenon sort of situation, not focused on the fish fam or whatever. But I think what ends up happening is that most people that end up focusing on that sort of algorithmic growth or whatever, they start making some money, and then eventually something will happen where the money starts to go downward for a while, which has happened here on my end, so I can relate. But as opposed to, and I'm not saying I've reacted in the correct way or not, but as opposed to taking a step back and just going like, you know what, everything will be fine if I just continue to work on the thing that is creative for me and not worry and focus so much on money constantly all of the time. Probably maintain a level of mental health that is actually sustainable, as opposed to then trying to grab onto the algorithm where you make videos about how you're not going to make videos anymore, right?
And so the benefit of the two that caused this, both of them did say, I'm not leaving, I'm stepping back and going back to a more vlog style, etc. So
right,
it's watching that learning curve in action that I find interesting, which is part of why I brought it up.
Yeah. But like one of the big things is that like a lot of the people like specifically, like a good example would be those top 10 videos, because you've seen every channel has made top 10 goldfish for your goldfish pond, right? One of the reasons that a lot of that content was made is because when you go and research what's most searched, that's always at the top of the list. What's the top 5 this? What's the top 3 that? What's the top this? Because more often than not, people are searching the internet for and let me find something. Oh, like cell phone. What's the top 5 cell phones on the market right now? What's the top 5 coffee mugs, travel coffee mugs? That's what people are searching for all of the time. So it shows up when you do the research for what I should title a video or whatever. It shows up as one of the top results. So then you see people churn out top 10 plants for your Planet Aquarium, top 10 fish for your this, top 5 fish for your that, top 5 shrimp for your thingy, and you will see like a ton of those videos come out, and then inevitably you'll see the burnout video come, and then it's like, I'm going to do this thing and the other thing. And the reason for that, like I said, is that a lot of the people that are functioning that way are just essentially chasing after the dollar, right? And let me use some people like outside of the fish community, because I'm not really trying to point the finger at anybody in the fish community, but like James Charles, right? James Charles is like 10 million subscribers on YouTube, and he's always doing makeup tutorials on the best foundation, the best eyeliner, the best eyeshadow, whatever, right? And so what ends up happening is that guy churns out this content, he churns out this content, he churns out this content, and then eventually one of two things happen. They either go, oh, I'm burnt out from making this content, or they do something outrageous in their personal life, and then suddenly they get to go away for 6 months, and then all of a sudden they come back on the reunion tour, right? Of like, I'm back to YouTube, and all of a sudden they get a big giant spike again. And that is generally what ends up happening over and over and over again. And I've just been watching it for years and years. And I think the reality is that if you are somebody who gets lucky enough to make a bunch of money off of doing a project, realistically what you would want to do is bring other people and to build the project with other people so that you can get so that you can maintain a level of like honest creative growth and making content that actually sort of, instead of just making a thing, you're actually making a thing that you have a vision for, right? And I think one of the things that is like a good example would be like Philip Defranco, right? Philip Defranco's been on YouTube forever. Started out as sort of this like edgelord idiot who was like making content about whatever weird headline he could find. And then he slowly kind of decided like, wait a minute, maybe I should make this more into a news program. So then he hired, so then he like hired some people to do research and some people that do writing and some people that do production and do this and da-da-da-da. And at this point, like now he has a company that is working towards making a program as opposed to him just attempting to do it all as like a one-man show. So I think that that's most likely sort of the basic diagram that people should be looking at of going like, oh, I've got some popularity, I've got some money, I need to start building and including other people into making something move forward, as opposed to just continually like relying on yourself to work 90 hours a week and then hope that that was just going to be a manageable thing. One of the reasons I don't post a bunch of edited content on this channel anymore, even though I am like in the creative process of making stuff, is that for me, I really only have like 3 or 4 or 5 hours a week that I can really kind of dedicate towards like working on stuff. And like this last weekend was a good example of, so I worked on Saturday. We worked on Alyssa's fish room. So we got all the walls framed out. Got most of that stuff done. Fixed a bunch of things. She's got water in there now. Hopefully, if I can get up there next weekend, then we'll get a lot of the power and some sink and blah 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 other things put in. And then, sort of Sunday was like family day, so I went hiking, and I shot video the whole time we were there, because I was like, at the very least, if I make a video out of this, I may or may not put it onto YouTube, but I'm going to keep the video for myself, right? And be like, look back on it 10 years later and go like, that's a really cool thing for me to keep as my family, as like a family, what do you call it? Like a photo album, but it's a video as opposed to a photo album, right? And I might make it apply to the YouTube channel at some point, but I'm just not beholden to doing that. But I've seen it happen over and over again, that people get a little bit of that sort of internet clout, and then they just burn themselves out. Like, and oftentimes people like posting content every single day is insane. It's a completely insane thing, because the first moment that you like screw up and miss a day, all of a sudden you've like broken your promise to the fans that there would be content every single day. Like the people are watching, they're constantly there. They're constantly like every single day you're posting, you're doing all this stuff. And then all of a sudden you don't. Now you've all of a sudden broken the promise to the people that are watching your content, right?
You have broken the covenant.
Yeah. Yeah, that you were going to post a thing every single day. And so it's just, that kind of crap is just not sustainable. But like Casey Neistat made that super popular, right? Because Casey Neistat saw just a monumental amount of income and money from doing a daily thing. So people constantly have tried to emulate that by, I'm going to go daily, And it was one of the things I saw with like even the Fish Fam. They were doing like 30 for October or whatever it is. What is the daily October upload thing? I forget. I don't know. There was a name for it. But you see a bunch of people at like day 25. They're like, well, today I'm gonna change my I'm gonna change out the pad out of my filter. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that today. I mean, I know I did it like 3 days ago, but I'm gonna do some maintenance on my filter, and so like that's clean now. And like, I mean, I can't really do a water change because I did a water change yesterday, and like I'm gonna feed these fish.
I'm gonna move this fish to this tank that I moved from that tank to this tank last week.
Right. Yeah, and so it's just like a perfect example of like, if you're sort of like looking for a format to emulate, like the one that I sort of point at, and I've always kind of pointed at since he started, is Tanner from Serpa Designs, right? He does like a weekly video, which is insane, by the way. If you're doing a weekly video, it's still crazy. But he does like a weekly video, and he posts like a weekly video that's a sort of little project that he did, and it sort of has a beginning and a middle and an end. It's honestly, at this point, it's super rambly, so I don't really watch it anymore because I don't have 25 minutes to watch anybody's video realistically. Most of the stuff that I listen to or absorb is all audio style stuff that I don't have to watch what it is that they're doing, because I do not have time to like sit and watch people's YouTube content. I really don't. So, but if you wanted to like, if you wanted to emulate somebody, like emulate that guy. Like that guy is doing it in a legitimate way, and try to go that route. And realistically post one video a month, and you'll probably have enough time to like put that together if you, if you don't have kids and you don't have a job and you don't, right?
Right. Well, I think it's an age thing too, as far as the type of stuff that we consume. You talk about listening to audio stuff because it's stuff that you can multitask to. You can listen to any number of things while you're, working on Alyssa's fish room or doing your fish room tasks between kid wrangling and day job,
Well,
you don't understand. I bother him the whole time that he's there.
Oh, all right. Well, take that back. You can listen to Alyssa while you work on Alyssa's fish room.
Right, which is fine by me. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's nice to have somebody to talk to and also show them like what's going on, because that's also part of the gig of like helping Alyssa. It's like, here's this thing, this is why I did that, this is why I did this. We're gonna do it like that, and then it's like, oh, okay. And I appreciate being able to do that, especially if some of the customers I work for are like, the expectation is like, can you remodel my kitchen in a half an hour? And it's like, what? It's like, well, I watched this like the home remodel show, and they did it like super fast, and it's like,
here's what you do.
I have
a bucket of somehow like colored epoxy, and you just spin it around in the kitchen, and you walk away.
Right.
You have been remodeled. Please enjoy.
Yeah,
the remodeling.
The remodeling is complete. There you go. It's moist now. Don't touch it. Don't touch it till tomorrow.
Shiny.
I gotta go though. I have a doctor's appointment in like 10 minutes.
Oh no.
Well, you gotta go. Get out of here.
Yeah. Bye.
Hang up. Jeez. Gotta go to the freaking doctor and hanging around talking to us. I mean, come on. But largemouth bass with a 42-month largemouth bass has been a member for 42 months on the channel, and that's totally crazy. Just call me Grandpappy. First grandbaby born 2 weeks ago, 6-pound baby boy. Oh my God. I don't know, man. I don't want to be a grandpa yet. My cousin's a grandpa. My cousin's like a super young grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, what, 47? I think he's 47, 46 or 47. Already got a grandbaby that's 3 going on 4. Yeah.
About 10 years ago, I told my daughter I didn't want to be a grandparent until she was at least 25. She turned 25 this year, and for her birthday, I told her, okay, I meant 30. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. You don't want to be like an old grandma like my mom. Although my mom doesn't seem that old. She's 69 right. and rocking a 3-year-old with her. It's a bit much, I think.
Well, I'm 55. I could do it at 30. We're still good there. So she's got time.
Yeah, I guess you'd just be 60, so you'd be fine. Yeah.
It's all good.
My mom straight up retired from her job when she found out that Olivia was coming.
Oh.
She was like,
okay.
"Oh, I shall quit working at my job then, because then I can hang out with Olivia." Like, word. So I think it was good for her, because she was probably just going to work forever. She would just be like, "Oh, I don't have any grandkids, so I'm going to just work forever."
Did she give you the "what took so long" comments?
Oh my God, largemouth bass is 48.
Yep.
Oh my God, 48-year-old grandpappy. What did you do? Well, I guess if you had your kid when you were 24 and then your kid's 24 having a kid, you'd be 48. So I guess that's not too bad. That's not bad.
He said his grandbaby had not cooked fully. So she's still in the incubator, or he's still in the incubator.
Yeah, in the NICU.
Yes.
Yeah. So the kids will be all right. They'll be okay. She'll do good.
Sometimes you just got to cook them a little longer.
Yeah, you just got to put them in there, turn it up to broil, get them nice and crispy, get a little crisp on, get a nice little crispy skin on them before they can come out. They got to be ready to go. Oh my God, the temperature is going up outside. Oh my God, what is happening?
It's nice and cloudy here for once. I'm completely okay with the temperature. Although the grasshoppers here, if you wanted to film a biblical locust scene, all you would have to do is throw a rock anywhere in my yard. It is insane.
The locusts have gone crazy.
Oh, the grasshoppers are everywhere. They scare. I have Shih Tzus, and they literally will scare the dogs, chase them around the yard because they can't figure out what the things that keep hitting them and buzzing them are. And I can hear them when they hit the side of my house. They're so big.
That's out of control.
It's the joys of Eastern Washington.
Well, at least it's not on fire. That's all I'm saying.
True.
Yeah, my sister brought that up. She was like, at least the wildfires are, not happening yet. So I was like,
only in Canada.
Only in Canada. Well, there's not any people there, so it's like, what are you gonna do? Of course, it catches on fire, and then it just burns all around because there's not even any people there. So,
as long as it respects the border, I'm okay with that. I'm only 3 miles away.
Those Canadians should probably start breeding or something. I don't know what's their problem. Why don't they have enough peoples? They should get some more.
Yeah, that's not good. Okay, now I have to take a dip out.
All right.
It's been a joy talking with you in the green room. Thanks for having me.
All right, you get out of here. Have fun. Don't catch on fire.
I will try not to. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye-bye. Oh my God, we've got a 30 Swedish kroner super chat from Rumbust, who's going large. Who's going large today, dropping super chats on us, saying congrats for maybe hitting a milestone in my sobriety of 3,000 days. Well, hold on. We just got a message over here from some interesting characters. Okay, we're going to find out what's going on here. I just got an interesting, I just got a job bid. Which is crazy because, yeah. It's like way less than the other companies. We're sending me all sorts of crazy stuff. Earn a pickery. It says in France also. Is it hot? Is that what's going on? I don't know. Erna, what's happening in France? Are you guys all right? Are the yellow, the yellow protesters in France? What were the yellow protesters called? In France. In France! Here we go. Wait, where did it go? Okay, here we go. What were they called? The yellow vests. But they had like a French name. What were their name? The yellow vests or yellow jacket protests? Were those only from 2018? Man, I thought that it was continuing much longer. The protests eventually stopped. Oh, I guess they were going on for a long time until COVID came. Oh, maybe they're still going. Are the protests still going? Maybe. I don't know. France is a wild place. I should go visit there. I should go visit France sometime. We need a benevolent donator to donate some airfare and stuff. We need that. Oh, it's burning. Oh my God. Oh, you guys had the heat dome. France had the heat dome. What's the Europe temp? Because Europe was like out of control for quite a while. This was July 20th. Okay, so this is out of date. Weather tracker. What is this? Oh my God, the cookies. We're not going to that website. Oh, we're getting stuck with... Oh, I put it in the heat dome, so that's probably bad. Extreme heat breaks, blah, blah, blah. Let's take a look. The hottest temperature in Europe. A temperature of 39.1 Celsius was provisionally recorded earlier in the day in the English village of Charlwood in Surrey. Is that the hottest temperature ever? 102? It's been hotter here than that. Oh, Okay, we got to take the heat off of this search and put a bracket around Europe. Okay, here we go. Oh, you guys have cooled down. It's more reasonable now. Let's see. Let's load this up. Although Spain's still looking hot. Still looking pretty hot in Spain. That's for sure. But Germany and France and everybody, you guys like 22, 26, 19. That's all pretty normal, right? Oh my God, is it that cold in Finland already? Man. That's wild, bros. The list of places I want to go to Europe is still long. I want to go to some places there. I was thinking about going to Vivarium this year. And I got some wild news the other day that Vicky's work did not approve her being able to go. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to go to Vivarium or not. This year, I'm still working on it. Still working on if I'm going to go or not, because it's kind of one of those things. I want to take Vicky to Europe. I've been over there a few times, and every time she's kind of upset that she doesn't get to go. Because one of the things that Vicky wants to do is internationally travel. And then she's like, "Oh, you're going, and I'm going to stay here, and take care of the house or whatever." And it's kind of a bummer for her, So, I heard the Bay Watchers in France were on strike. Public swimming pools were closed. What? Really? Wait. What do you got? What would you call that? Paris airport workers call off strike scheduled this week. Municipal swimming pools threatened with closure all summer. Oh my God. We got to translate. We got to translate to English. Okay. Well, I guess it didn't load. I tried to translate it and it just gave up. Gave up the ghost. Here we go. Strike by lifeguards threatens the opening of Parisian swimming pools. A social movement of lifeguards and technical agents is currently impacting Parisian swimming pools. Strike notice runs on all summer holidays, but in reality it has been going on since the end of winter. Social movement does not touch not all pools at the same time. Does not take place only during certain hours of the day. It's therefore difficult to know when all of the long establishments can close, yet the return of the heat announced for next week. The fairly restrictive safety devices mean that closures can be effective if only one agent is missing. Oh my God, if one agent is missing. We went swimming at a pool not last weekend, not this last weekend, but the weekend before. There wasn't a lifeguard there, guys, because your boy, this dude right here, lifeguard trained. I don't know if the certificate. I don't know. I'm sure it's expired if it has an expiration, but I did all the lifeguard training, open water lifeguard training when I was late teenager? Yeah. And I know how to swim good. I know how to swim good, guys. I swim good. It's all good. It's all good, baby. So the only real person I was worried about was Olivia, who had a life jacket while we went swimming. She had a life preserver. I don't know what you guys call them internationally. In the Netherlands, farmers are on strike. Oh my God. Let's check this out. Netherlands farmers strike. Let's take a look. In The Hague, Netherlands. I've been there. The Hague? Den Haag? I've been there. I went there with Johan, dude. And then we had lunch and it was delightful. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I have to admit, I didn't really find anything about the Netherlands that I didn't like, except for, Let's see. The Dutch farmers dump manure, garbage on the roads to protest planned emission reductions. Oh my God, what are they doing? They're protesting emission reductions? Dutch farmers protest government plans to reduce nitrogen emissions by dumping manure and garbage Wednesday on highways and setting fires alongside roads. Oh, that's a good idea. Set fires. The latest actions in the summer of discontent. Police urged them to stop for safety reasons and were investigating who was responsible. Traffic authorities said several roads, blah, blah, blah. By the end of the day... Okay, here we go. Here's a quote. We are doing everything to clear the roads, but some contractors are being intimidated. Let's see. Keep reading. Protesting is a fundamental right. Okay, that's great. Seriously needed road safety. I see talks as turning point, breaking deadlock together. The farmers are angry at governments targeting for reining in emissions of nitrogen oxide and ammonia and say that threatens to wreck their agricultural way of life and put them out of business. The government says emissions of nitrogen oxide and ammonia, which livestock produce, must be drastically reduced close to nature areas that are part of a network of protected habitats for endangered plants and wildlife stretching across the 27-nation European Union. The ruling coalition wants to cut emissions of pollutants by 50% nationwide by 2030, calling a measure an unavoidable transition to improve soil, air, and water quality in the EU. It is called on provincial. Hold on. How do we? Hold on. I'm gonna look this up. Google. How do you say that correctly?
Provincial.
Okay. I was just being a goof. Word. Provincial. Provincial authorities to drop plans to reduce emissions and earmarked an extra 24.3 billion euros to fund the changes. Farmers argue that they're being unfairly targeted while other industries such as aviation, construction, and transport, which I think is probably true. It sounds like these dudes is protesting, and I say dudes because there's a dude in the picture here, so there might be some ladies. Might be some non-binaries in there. Who knows? I don't know who is the full scope of these farmers. But it sounds like they're protesting the changes because the changes aren't coming into other industries, which I think realistically has some validity to it, that you go like, you're trying to regulate us, but you're not regulating everybody else. But I don't know if there's like the political will in order to get everybody regulated all at the same time. Who knows? Like that might not be there, and you might not have enough money earmarked to get everybody on board all at the same time and help fund those changes. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I would have to look into it a lot more to realistically like have any kind of understanding about what's going on. But realistically, after reading one article, it sounds like they're upset that none of the other industries are being regulated in the same fashion, which is, I don't know if that's protest worthy in my mind, but you know. Man, my coffee is like the perfect temperature right now. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced it. When it's like, it's hot, it's too hot, but then it like, if it's cold, it's too cold. It's right there right now. It's like pristine. I don't know what that temperature is. Should probably get a heat gun and then tell people when I buy coffee, that's the temperature I want it. Like get the laser pointer and find out what the temp is right now. Something is poking me in the arm and is driving me up the wall. I don't know. Okay. Anyhow, yeah, I mean, obviously environmental regulations like have to happen. Most people just don't want to because it's going to, put pressure on their monetary intake, realistically. They think it's going to affect them in the bottom line. And so they typically get pretty incensed about it. But I don't know. If we're talking about wildfires, heat domes, droughts, all sorts of crazy stuff going on the basis of what scientists have been telling us for the last 60 years, I think it's probably best to get on it as opposed to not. So, yeah, I mean, we got to do something because, as George Carlin put it, how did George Carlin put it? George Carlin, the world. Let's see. George Carlin, the planet isn't going anywhere. We are. That's a good point. Where's the quote? Here we go. Oh my God, it's a much longer quote than I was expecting. But we're so self-important. Everybody's going to save something now. Save the trees, save the bees. Blah 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 blah. The planet has been through a lot worse than us. Been through earthquakes, volcanoes, blah blah blah. Hundreds of thousands of years of bombardment by comets and asteroids and meteors, worldwide floods, etc. And we think some plastic bags and some aluminum cans are going to make a difference. The planet isn't going anywhere. We are. We're going away. Pack your shit, folks. We're going away, and we won't leave much of a trace either. Maybe a little styrofoam. The planet will be here, and we'll be long gone. Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is a lot longer than I was hoping for a quote to read. But it's basically boils down that, like, the planet's going to be here whether we're here or not. So when we talk about, like, environmental protections, when I talk about environmental protections, like, my reasoning behind that is the preservation of humanity. Like, I'm not so worried. Like, I don't have, like, a lot of basis in going, like, Mother Earth, oh my God. It's like, my point is going, like, we have to get ahead of this stuff so that we can save the people, right? Like, I love animals, I love fish, I love plants, I love all that stuff. You guys know that. I spent, like, a big portion of my life focused on, like, trying to represent that in some way that I feel like people would understand that by this point. But the most important interactions I have is with people, right? It was like humans, right? And I want to maintain that as best as possible, and that's where that's where all that stuff comes from. So I go, well, hey, if there's a better way to farm, and we could be implementing that, but the big obstruction is that, like, farmers can't pay for it out of pocket, then we got to figure out a way to like inject something in there so that we can for the betterment and the well-being of all of the people, right? Like, I'm generally always searching for, like, the best outcomes, right? That's generally, like, how I focus my life, is just going, like, what are the best choices here for typically the best outcomes over time? And that's what I'm generally focused on. And, to extend that down to, like, on a really micro scale is, like, I'm doing that with fish tanks. It's like, I'm trying to focus on what's the best long-term outcome for my aquarium systems, for the fish, the shrimp, the plants, all the stuff in there, to benefit the best way possible. And that's why I kind of do the things the way that I do them, is going, like, what's going to be the most beneficial for me long term. And, like, one thing I know is that, like, for instance, like, water changes are the best advice that you can almost always give anybody, because if they have some kind of issue with their tank, it most likely has something to do with water quality. But if they haven't even tested their water change water, it could be the worst advice you gave somebody. Maybe their water change water is, like, super toxic, and the aquarium system itself is the only thing that is filtering that water to keep all the fish and everybody alive, everybody in there. So you might end up giving somebody the advice to do a water change, and it kills everything in their tank because it's gotten so bad. But also, I do know that, like, if I'm reliant on me to do water changes all of forever and maintain a perfect schedule to do it, like, I'm probably going to fail at that. So I do take these steps to make sure that, like, if I miss a water change for a week, it's not that big of a deal, right? It's like, if 100 was perfection, it's like 95, right? On the scale of, like, how well is this system maintained and doing well and everything, right? So instead of hitting a 50 or something, I'm hitting a 95 or a 90 and going like, okay, well, I can get it back to a 100, do a water change, and just continue on from there, and going like 90 is so much better than a 0, right? And so that's kind of how I'm generally just doing it. Chirish says, I'm a big fan of my off-grid aquaponic tomatoes and lettuce, 3 hobbies in one, and I agree with that. Like, that is a perfect way to encompass like a sort of moving forward plan with fish tanks and stuff. I realistically think that's just a great way for people to learn a lot, to also like contribute to community, especially like, let's say you grow 1,000 tomatoes, right? The chances of you being able to eat all of them fresh is 0. To can all of them is it's a better percentage than 0, but it's going to be pretty rough for you to do all of that canning. You're most likely going to turn around and go like, I've got all these excess tomatoes. I need to kind of get these out into people's hands so that they can use them and stuff like that. So you're like sort of indirectly, well, I guess directly contributing to your community, but indirectly contributing to sort of like just the benefit of a more green environment, right? And the fact that like you're not shipping those tomatoes off to the other part of the world so that they can be processed and then shipped back and then blah blah blah. So I really think that people with the ability to do that kind of stuff, especially when I encounter people that have like 100 aquariums in their house, and you're like, what is this beneficially playing into like other humans that are around here? It's very difficult to not kind of look around and go like, there's a real kind of a lot of resources put into just like one individual person's well-being, right? So I definitely want to see more people doing off-grid, maybe not even off-grid aquaponics, but just aquaponic systems, aquaculturing of things and stuff like that. So I think is just going to be beneficial, just a beneficial way to like be contributing to the world, right? You want a very simple way to check this out. Here comes a professional radio maneuver. You want a real beneficial way to click the like button? Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Contribution by clicking the like button. Mickham says, or you can start making ketchup. Yeah, the ketchup making process is like so crazy though. If you do it from scratch, it is bonkers. I don't think most people would realize like just how in depth the process of making your own ketchup really is. It's so laborious for how dumb of a product it is, realistically. It's a rough one. I've been there personally, and it's a rough one for what the benefit is. I would just tell people, start baking your own bread. Start making your own mayonnaise. Start making your own, make your own butter. Like, making your own butter is easier than making ketchup, really. I mean, it's perfect that you brought it up, Mickham, because it's like, we all sort of neglect the existence of ketchup. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you sort of just, it's there. There it is. There's the ketchup. Okay, word. Like, you don't really have, it's super cheap at the store, right? So, it's one of those weird things. If you want to contribute, financially, you can. I was going to update our members to 70, but we had 70 yesterday and we're back to 69 now. So we've just stayed steady at the nice number, 69. I will reiterate, if we get to 1,000 members, I'll start making content for you full time. If we get to 1,000 members, but we're gonna need 1,000. Hold on. Scratch that. We're gonna need 2,000 members to start making content full time. Otherwise, it'll just be sporadic nonsense and the Monday live streams. We'll just be doing Monday live streams, And people have asked me over the years, they're like, do you want to do that full time? And I'm like, I would love to be making like dope videos full time. That's what I would like to be doing. But with the amount of work I have now, that's like physical labor amongst all the other stuff and all the projects that I got going, it's really difficult to carve out time for making edited content. You know what I mean? It just is. New Local Austin says, nice. It's true. Nice. I don't know where the shareable link is anymore because Patreon is like updating all of its stuff. But you could be a patron. You could be a patron if you want. That's like $1 a month, which is more affordable for the regular homies out there. Just imagine, for 25 cents a week, you would be sponsoring the live streams if you did $1 a month. But you get 10% off, so it's even less than that. But I can't do that math. I don't know how to do that math in my head. I guess 25 minus 2.5, correct? So, oh God, is it 22.5? How do you get a half cent? That's the question. How do you get a half cent? Very rookie amateur hour. Sorry about that, guys. But you could become a patron if you like. I would appreciate it. And what do you get for becoming a YouTube member or a patron? You get access to our community, which is our Discord, which I will tell you guys, we voted on whether or not to make the Discord public. We voted on making the Discord public, and I will tell you, it was 50% to 50%. So it was tied. And as I said, I was checking the Corvus Oskin charts and procedural Bill of Rights with amended constitutional actions, and it looks as though voter turnout was low, and also there was no supermajority achieved, and thusly we shall continue to be a sponsored-only Discord. So you do need to have that if you want to join up on our Discord, and then you can or you don't. You just do whatever you want because you're a human, and you just keep doing that. Yeah. Okay. I'm just reading a meme off our Discord. It's a deep meme. But yeah, if you were wondering how the people called in, that's how that goes. They were calling in because they were on the Discord. That's how they did it. Cool. I wasn't aware, and I actually preferred crushed tomatoes, spicing it the way you want. Yeah, crushed tomatoes is kind of the best way to go. But you could buy sun-dried tomatoes. Sun-dried tomatoes is a great place. You can kind of rehydrate them and grind those up. That's almost even better than ketchup anyhow. And that's a very kind of easy process. If you get sun-dried tomatoes, rehydrate them in warm water, add a little bit of spice to it, a little bit of salt to it, grind all that up into kind of a paste. It doesn't hold that long in the fridge, maybe 3 weeks, a month, or something like that. But it's way better than ketchup, than just the ketchups that are out there. Most of the ketchups that are out there these days in the U.S. are mostly sugar anyhow. I think sugar is like the number one thing on the ingredients list. So yeah, it's not necessarily don't have ketchup. It's just be aware that it's pretty much sugar. Because that's how that goes. Oh my God. We are almost an hour and a half in for our Monday show here today. Did we do good? Yeah, I think we did. That's why you plant rhubarb. Rhubarb? The thing is, rhubarb is like sneakingly delicious. It's a sneaky one. I think if you had it every day, I think rhubarb would just drive you crazy, and you'd be like, I don't even want to deal with that anymore. Yeah. But we're an hour and a half in, and I have to edit some hummingbird pictures because I love hummingbirds. And the other day I was talking to the accountant from Aquarium Co-op, and they were watching the live stream, and they said, "Oh, I only watched a couple of minutes, but you were talking about how much you love hummingbirds." Well, I'll tell you this. I still love hummingbirds just as much as the last time I was talking about them. Dude, I love them just as much. They're just delicious little birds. I love them. I love everything about them. I've never eaten one, so I don't know if they're actually tasty, but they're my favorite thing, dude. I love them so much. And I get to interact with them just on the oh, there it is. Oh, cool. And then they fly away. So they're you know, I'm into it. Anyhow, that's it for Monday. I don't know what I talked about today. Is there any kind of recap? I don't know. We missed the recap. But we got no new members. But we did get, shout out to Largemouth Bass for becoming a grandpappy. And a shout out to Rumbust and the Fish Tank Barn for super chats today. Those were our super chatters. How was our stream health? What does that mean? It says the stream is healthy. It says the stream health is excellent. Okay, I don't know what that means. Shopping is, I don't know what shopping is. Oh, do I have, I guess I don't have any of my merch now anymore in there. So, I don't know, whatever. You buy merch or not, I don't care. I don't care. Do whatever you want as far as the merch goes. I don't even know if they've ever paid me out for the merch. I think I've gotten paid out before, but last time I tried to trigger a payout from them, it just didn't work. It was non-functional. So, but hopefully you guys got your shirts if you ordered them, you know. Hopefully you got them. I never heard from anybody that didn't get their thing. Setting my 3 tanks now for angels. Ooh, that's good. That's good. Angels are, that's a fun project. Always, I think. Anyhow, 1 million people showed up and we only got 22 likes today. So what are you going to do? What are we going to do to get more likes? I don't know. Does it matter? No. But I like to talk about it because it's a thing when I don't really have anything to talk about. So I'm going to go edit some hummingbird videos. You guys have fun. I will see you next week. Why don't you think up some questions and send them in to me? Okay. Bye-bye.